Everybody.
Hello, everybody. Looks like everything's working, except for Facebook. There we go.
Oh,
Now we're live everywhere. Yay!
we're running our own tech today, so
Yeah. So we're multitasking.
Yeah, multitasking.
So glad we're back live on Woo Wisdom Friday.
Yes, as always, happy to be here.
Yes, and if anybody's watching, I forgot to check the microphones. So
Oh.
we got to talking. So
Anybody on live yet?
if anybody's
Hard to
watching
tell.
and can't hear us, I hope you let us know if you can't hear anything.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody pops on and asks too. Again, just to
Yeah.
make sure. So we've just been sitting here chit chatting, catching up because we haven't seen each other in a week, and talking about energy and life and all of the things. And I thought I would share a little something.
Okay.
I haven't told you yet. I started to tell you, but I didn't finish. So I had a client and a friend of mine who sent me a podcast last night. And I didn't listen to it, didn't open it up. I just thought, okay, I've listened to this particular podcast once before, and I liked it, but I didn't listen to it anymore for whatever reason. I don't know. So she sent me this podcast on dreaming, and I'd have to pull it up to look at the man's name, who was their guest, but he's really well known, I think, in the dream interpretation world. And so I had a dream last night.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course I did. I've been having weird dreams, y'all. And I've been trying to keep track of them and journaling them every day. I haven't done it every single day, but most days I have.
So before you go into that, and if you're interested in hearing about all those crazy dreams, our first newsletter just went out on Thursday. So there's posts in our on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page of how to sign up for that newsletter if you would like to receive that and hear more about Brenda's crazy dreams.
Yeah, because the newsletter I wrote about some of the dreams I've been having. So the dream I had last night, I was in Australia, okay? And I've been having, my ex-husband has been in my dreams a lot lately. And they're like, we're just hanging out together and we're doing things and we're going places. And it's really weird because I don't really understand why we're like intersecting and traveling during dream time.
That's funny because I've had exes popping up in my dreams lately.
Really?
Yeah.
So anyway, we were in Australia. And we went to this place. It was kind of like a church or a meeting building of some sort. Mm-hmm. And he had his girlfriend with him, who was not his current girlfriend, but a girlfriend. And she was kind of ditzy and like giggling and laughing. And I looked at him and I was like, why is she laughing? Like, what is so funny? And he was like, she's just really immature. So anyway, I'm in Australia.
Partial credit that he knew it.
Right.
That he could see it.
So I'm in this building and I'm looking out on this panoramic view, and I think it's the actual ocean, but in reality it's like a screen that's like playing this beautiful ocean view. And then I go outside and there's these gorgeous mountains, and then I'm back in this building and there is this wedding going on, and it's an Aboriginal woman and a white man, and it was just all like really weird. Like, why am I dreaming this and why am I in Australia? So I pull up this podcast to listen to this morning as I'm getting ready, and the guest is from Australia. And he's talking about dreams and how like parallel lives and all this quantum physics stuff that was still like blowing my mind. So I'm like, okay, was I tapping into that podcast? Because it was in my awareness, but I had not listened to it.
Right.
So, like, did my subconscious already know what it was about, or some part of me already know, and I was tapping into that Australian connection? I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, and you and I've had this conversation before. It's like synchronicities like that when they pop up, especially when it's around you, working on yourself, trying to raise your vibration, trying to grow to the next level. I mean, when you're focused on those kind of pursuits, then usually synchronicities like that are it's not coincidence. It's there to go.
Yeah.
Take a look at pay attention here. Not necessarily a sign, so to speak. Like, not that Australia had any particular meaning, but more like a, hey, Brenda, you need to pay attention right here to this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it made me feel like I need to pay even more attention to my dreams. And so this podcast I was listening to, the guy was talking about, where was I going with that?
The parallel lives.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the heck I was going to say. Maybe I'm not supposed to share it. Maybe Spirit just went like, oh, I know what it was. Okay, so he talked about like how we have visits with people, you know, in our dream time, whether it's, you know, people that we've known that have passed away, so people in the spirit or your guides, ascended masters, other people in the dream world, like on the astral plane. And I've been having a lot of dreams about people that have passed away in my life. And this week I had a dream about one of my really good friends in my 20s. Her name was Deb. She passed away, I believe it was last year. And she and I had so much fun together. I love this. She had such a sense of adventure, and I just loved her. So she was from the West Coast, or her family lived on the West Coast. And she had 2 dogs, and she drove this little Ranger pickup truck with the cab cover. And a couple times a year, she would just pack up her truck and throw her 2 dogs in the back, and they would take off across the country to go visit her family. And she would go and stop in, you know, different national parks, and she would make her trip around those special places to stop. And so in my dream, I was helping her pack food and stuff for her road trip. And I was like, I wonder if in spirit she's like road tripping all the time.
Well, I mean, if that was something that she really loved to do, then I bet she is just kind of like just going and seeing the things, like everywhere she wanted to see.
Maybe with her 2 doggies still.
Oh,
in spirit. Anyway, that was just really, it's putting things together in my mind, and I'm like, I'm tripping, y'all, I'm tripping.
Well, it's funny that that particular kind of subject has come up for you this week, because last Friday, after we did this on Friday morning, I had a hypnotherapy session and did a past life regression, and it was very eye opening as to and really the past life that I went through was very specified to the intention I set for that session, and answered a lot of questions for me as to why I feel the way I feel in certain situations. But one of the elements that was in that past life was, it was medieval times, and there was like a castle of some sort, like a stone building. And now pretty much every time I close my eyes with intention, like to ground or to meditate or whatever, I see this figure with a crown. Or and I get the impression that it's the same figure. Sometimes I'll see the crown, sometimes I'll see like a robe, sometimes I'll just see different aspects, but it's like it pops into my awareness pretty much every time
Interesting.
I close my eyes with intention. So I'm wondering if it's like, is that me from that life, or is that an entity that I interacted with a lot in that life, like kind of like still, because of course I'm still processing everything that that came up in that session. So I haven't necessarily dreamed a dream about that, but it's like kind of like when you kind of like try to like slow down and kind of go into that different brainwave pattern. That's when that awareness pops in. So that's been kind of neat, kind of different. I haven't really had that happen before.
There's a lot of weird things happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's so much more to life than what we think that there is, and
what we can perceive.
Our human perception, and it's just so cool to like think about and dive into.
Well, and we all have those points in time where it's like, what's the meaning of all this? Why are we here? Why what's the meaning of life? The existential type of questions. But when you start to think about that there's so much more than we can even perceive, like somewhere in all that kind of lies the answer to that question of like the meaning of life and why we're all here, and those kind of existential crisis kind of questions.
Maybe we'll figure it out one day. So Dreamster 88, we have not done a mic check, so we want to know if you can hear us. If you can, just give us a thumbs up so we know that all the stuff we've been rambling on about, and somebody's going to hear it.
I hear it, yeah. And I thought I saw her do some hearts earlier, so I was like thinking that she was able to hear us today.
Cool.
So, there we go. Yay!
Okay,
Everything's working.
good. Yeah, so we only have one question for this week, as far as I know. Okay, cool. Thank you. And I have it on my phone. And also, let me share that podcast because I think other people might want to hear or listen to it. It's called Energy Matters, Spirituality and Beyond. And I think it was maybe episode 39 or 37 about dreams, because I'm listening to another one that was about anxiety, which was also like really interesting.
And it's 11:11 while we're talking about it. So
yeah.
That's great.
So Energy Matters. 2 guys, which usually I prefer female podcasters.
Yeah.
But they're really good. So if anybody's interested, check them out.
Have a listen.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to listen. I'm definitely going to listen to the one about past
The
lives,
dreams.
parallel lives.
Yeah. So it's called Dreams something, and with the guy's name that was their guest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could go back and look at it and see what the name of that one was. Let me pull that down.
Listening to the Energy Matters podcast.
Sorry, y'all.
A little sneak peek right there for you.
Okay, let me go to the show. And it was in the 30s, I know, because it was back from 2018. Still relevant. Still extremely interesting.
Oh, and I like to see that because they've been podcasting for several years,
Yeah.
so it's not just like a, they've got some traction and a lot of stuff to listen to. So.
Dream expert Robert Moss. It was episode number 39 from December 14th of 2018. If anybody's interested in listening to it, fascinating.
Fascinating. All right.
Okay, so the question for today.
Question for today.
Let me pull her up here. So this message comes from Linda. Did I not get the whole thing? Oh, there we go. Hi. We just saw a house today. So many pros and cons. My instinct tells me to be brave, but not sure this is what to do with my bravery. New house, this house, or stay put. So she's wanting to know, should we get a new house? Is this the house that they should get? Or should they just stay where they want to where they are now? What do you see for me and my family? All right, Linda. Let's see.
So
I'm conflicted about it, just right off the bat. Like,
I don't feel a yes or a no.
yeah,
What
some anxiety around the decision.
What I do feel like though is, and I don't know where this person is, but in thinking about the quote unquote this house, I felt like there was a lot of light. I felt like it was kind of like a light and airy feeling. So like, for me, the feeling in that house, being in that house, was very good. And I'm not saying that there were like a lot of windows or that I could even see what the house looked like, but I got a very strong impression of light and airy.
The energy felt good.
Felt good, yeah.
I feel like there's something out in the backyard. I don't know if it's like a focal point in the landscape of like a little garden area. I'm almost seeing like a little statue, so I don't know if that's something that is there already or something that you would want to put there. But it's almost like there's this spot back there that feels very meditative and sacred. Like maybe a little spiritual portal where you can go and tap in and recharge. And I get a real like fairy vibe from that little spot in the backyard. Let's see what else comes up.
So I asked the self-care deck, like what, it was Lisa, right? Linda. What Linda could, what within herself she could rely on to help make this decision. And the 2 cards that popped up were the Mind card. You are the master of your inner world, and you decide how the outer world affects you. Cultivate a calm inner state. And then the Intention card. What if the only resolution you made was to love yourself more? But when I look at these 2 together, mind and intention is kind of like it speaks to me about the whole co-creation. Like we're the writers of our reality. So kind of like as long as you are clear with your intention, and are manifesting with your thoughts and with your mind, then it's almost like you'll kind of have that guidepost to follow. Like you'll get that inclination, like the anxiety that you were talking about will kind of like melt away a little bit more, and things will be a little bit more clear, at least at the gut level of a strong pull one way or the other.
So can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I pulled the Ascended Masters card, and with that I pulled Archangel Raphael. So he would be considered an Ascended Master to me. So Raphael is about healing. And then I pulled the Debt Paid Off card. So I feel like this healing is around money. So if that place is going to put you in a worse place financially, I feel like tap into that and how that feels to you. Because if it feels like it's going to be a burden to buy that house, like financially be a burden, then it might be better to not do it right now.
Right.
But I also pulled Your Wishes Granted. So you're still going to get what you need, and really even what you want, I think. And I feel like I need to have one more.
Okay. When I ask, how could you manifest a new house, whether it's this house or a different house or whatever, and even whether you should be trying to manifest those things, I got the card Step Up and Lead. So I don't feel like that. I don't feel like it's a wrong decision to be moving in the direction of not staying where you are, whether the house you're looking at now is the be all end all or not. But I do think if you kind of like become really clear on your intentions of, this is the reason that we want to move to a different location. These are the things that we want to acquire by moving to a different location. Like if you get really clear on those intentions for the new location in your mind, then the more likely it is to present itself. Whether it's this house that you're looking at now, I think it would become clearer to you whether that answers that need or not.
Mm-hmm. So I pulled one of my crystal cards for you. It's the Shiva Lingam. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. But this is about the masculine and feminine qualities and bringing them together, integrating them. And it also talks about being in the flow of life. And this is also about healing, actually, because it says to be compassionate with yourself to heal, which, Archangel Raphael talks about healing as well. So I know this has nothing to do with buying a house, but maybe what is more important is that you work on healing yourself.
Well, and that could be the underlying cause of the anxiety or the indecision of, not feeling really clear on what to do at the moment with that decision.
Right.
So, good insight either way.
Yeah, I feel like there's still something there there's still more
to be uncovered.
Yeah.
Well, let's just ask what else needs to be uncovered. I had a huge hit on this one. So I pulled Go the Distance, but in reverse. So at first I was like, what does that mean? And then it was like super clear that it's like until you are content where you are, and not necessarily physical location, but until you're content in the being of where you are now. Any new location, like just changing geographically, isn't going to heal that.
Right.
Isn't gonna make that go away. It's not like just buying a new house and moving to a different place. Are you going to automatically feel more comfortable or be more happy?
Mm-hmm. And then I pulled the Be Brave card. And if you look at these two cards, they both have big cats on them. And I'm feeling drawn to that, like the energy of cat. The cat message is about being, about independence.
They're both like leopard, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both leopards. One's a black leopard, one's a regular leopard. Is there a leopard in there?
There's panther. Let's see if there's leopard.
There's a lizard. No, it's not in there.
But I mean, panther.
That's about reclaiming your
yeah,
power.
courage is to face challenges. You're braver than you think. Speak as you've never spoken before. Act as you've always dreamed. And you might have the courage to act and love fearlessly and fully, and to expect the full adrenaline rush as you are initiated into a new, braver, bolder self. So yeah, be brave to deal with whatever is going on in that current location.
The healing, I think, is for you personally.
Yeah.
On whatever level that is, if it's, self-love, just to figure that out, what that is for you.
And for those of us who are overthinkers from the beginning, like one of the most uncomfortable places to be is to just be, to be still and to listen to yourself and to be connected to your body, rather than just like all up in your head is super uncomfortable and super difficult. So and that's just the thing, like if you're not comfortable being in your, and I say this because I'm explaining myself as I say this, but if you're not really comfortable being in your own skin, then just taking a vacation or going to a different place or moving to a different house or taking a different job you're not going to essentially just go over here and do this new job or go to this new house and all of a sudden feel really comfortable being in your body and being alone with yourself. So I say that because I feel your pain, and I'm working on that right now as well. But if that's what you might be looking to make better, then whether it's this house or any other house, that's not going to heal that.
Right.
So Linda, much love to you. I hope.
Yeah. Hope that helps.
Gives a little insight.
Yeah. Should we pull a couple cards for Dreamstar 88 since she is listening to us and she's the only person? Or you thinking the same thing?
Absolutely, we will. I did have one more question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this question was from Dee.
Okay.
And it was, am I on the right path energetically? Like, am I going in the right direction as it relates to health and wellness?
Okay.
So I felt like they've gotten some ideas or some kind of like diagnosis or whatever, and are starting to go like down a certain path, and want to know if that's the right. Is this taking them in the right direction?
So initially, like, I saw a road in my head and like going off the road, and I got the word skewed. So something is a little skewed. It's not. There's no direct path, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
And what I'm feeling is there is another avenue to get the same result. That would be easier. Like easier on the physical body, and also easier on the pocketbook, actually. Like, it would be cheaper, a cheaper way of treatment for whatever it is that's going on.
Well, and so.
Oh, I love that.
Whatever is going on, the answer to it is going to be fun and joy, because optimism, happiness, humor, imagination,
And love.
and love. So, love and enjoyment and happiness is going to be key to
Unlocking.
unlocking whatever's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, whenever I did a card pull yesterday for the reading for today, I pulled the play card. Like, we need to go out and have more fun and play, and yeah. So having humor, and yeah, that was really cool. I love that.
Well, especially after and I can see that, after the last 2 years, just maybe the pandemic and everything is just that can affect you mentally, physically.
Oh, yeah.
And just now that the weather is changing a little bit and we're able to get outside a little bit more, and that's always a much safer option anyway. When it comes to stuff like that. So
Try some laughter yoga.
Yeah.
I think that's so awkward, but I mean, it works. I understand that it works.
Right, I do too, and it sounds like once you got into it, it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, after you got over the first weird part of it.
Yeah, the awkward part of it. Okay.
So I want to pull a couple cards for Michelle, since she's listening, Star 88, just for, like, I don't know, a little message for today from her spirit helpers, her guides, her angels. So the first thing that I just heard in my head is you're on the right path. So it feels like whatever you're doing now, like, you're going in the direction that you need to go in. One of my favorite cards.
Very pretty card.
These were my very first oracle card deck that I ever bought many years ago.
So they got some miles on them, is what you're saying?
They do. They shuffle real easy because they've been shuffled a lot of times. And that one's sticking up.
Those want to come out together, so.
Okay. So I don't know if you're learning something new or working on something new, because I pulled practice. And the priestess, you are being called to step up and lead. So whatever it is that you're thinking about wanting to do, even if you don't know what it is yet, you need to just start practicing what it is that you want to manifest or bring in, or whatever new thing you're learning.
And from the manifestation deck, I pulled clear your mind and be humble. And if you notice, one is the first quarter and the last quarter, so it's kind of like the full story, the whole. And as you were talking about practice, it's as you were saying that, and I was looking at these two cards and trying to tap into their meaning, like what is that trying to say? It was very much of a let go of the outcome kind of feeling. Clear your mind and be humble. Just be like, it was very much the feeling of, okay, Spirit, I'm trusting you to send me what's the right thing. Like
that may be the practice.
Yeah, that whole manifestation thing of I'm detaching from the outcome, because whatever I could think of, you could be working on something totally 10 times better than that. So, and then the self-care deck kind of back that up with truth and energy. So like, embodying that energy of kind of like letting go of the outcome and letting Spirit tell the story and be the truth.
And then I pulled this card, and it again says you're a leader. So letting go of what you think that you want, and just knowing that you have these leadership skills in yourself. So practice letting go, clearing the mind, allowing. But know that you are a natural born leader, and it's time for you to step up whenever the opportunity is presented.
Whenever the right opportunity, and be also be open to allowing that opportunity to present itself. Like sometimes we think that, oh, that's not for me, and we kind of close that off before we let Spirit work their magic and see what they want to come up with. So that may be also part of that be humble card, just like let them figure out what that's going to look like. And
But we think we know.
What we think we know.
Right. Because we don't know crap. I mean, let's just be honest. After our conversations this morning, we don't know all that.
And some days a lot less than that, it feels like.
Right.
So, yeah. But that's all the questions that we have. I don't know, but Michelle says, thank you. I needed that for today. I'm glad that resonated with you. So I guess, do you want to, is there any kind of energetic thing that we want to, pull one pile for today? Are you feeling led to anything?
No.
So energy-wise, I was talking to a good friend of ours yesterday, just about the energy, and I feel like, and I've noticed this with a lot of people that I work with since Pluto went direct. There's been a huge energy shift.
Oh, for sure.
And it's almost like a lot of the people that I know that are sensitive, they're feeling very discombobulated, forgetting things that they don't normally forget, brain fog, forgetting how to do things that they used to know how to do, asking the same question. I mean, just very discombobulated is the best word that I can describe, and it definitely feels like what you were talking about last week of kind of over the roller coaster, over the hill, and everything gets faster. But in that, rather than just the excitement of it, it almost feels like, okay, now it's going too fast, and I can't keep up with the things.
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah,
I got so much going on.
Yeah,
every day, all day long.
So, and a lot of overwhelm.
Yeah,
coming along with that. So maybe we pull some cards on anybody that may be resonating with that or feeling like that since in the past couple of weeks.
How to ground yourself, how to
what spirit
be in the body,
what spirit would want to say about that.
All right, that feels like that needs a crystal spirit, since that's in the earth. Maybe some fairies. Joan of Arc was the one that came up on Dreamstar 88's card. That you're a leader is the Joan of Arc card. So it's coming out again. Purple. Yeah. Those cards got purple. So does that one. Oh, well, that's got a lot of purple in it too. It's talking about love.
So that's just validating it's very high vibrational time.
Relax, don't do it. When you want to get to it. Humor. I had to bring in the humor. Oh my gosh, and I opened the book up exactly to the page that this crystal's on, so I'm going to read it really quick. So it's cosmic consciousness. That's what we've been talking about.
Exactly.
The dream and all that crazy stuff. Iridescent anandalite. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. Reminds us that consciousness is omniscient. Thank you. Having a hard time with words apparently. And omnipresent. Seeing all, knowing all.
But that's something else that people were talking about is either not being able to pronounce the word like that, or having the word in their mind but not being able to funnel it. Yeah.
Immerse yourself in a quantum field, the holographic universe, and the mystical interconnectedness that is cosmic consciousness. I love that. You have the potential to live in a completely different dimension of consciousness. That's exactly what the podcast. I'll swear.
Yeah, you
that's
can't make this
crazy.
Stuff up.
That's crazy. Recognize that you previously operated within a very narrow band of awareness. Attune to the flashes of divine light within your soul to take you into the interconnectedness of life. Let feelings of separation fall away and embrace unity. Ananda light gently facilitates integration and releases emotional blockages standing in the way of spiritual awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
It's a very pretty stone. It reminds me kind of like of a cross between an amethyst and a quartz.
Mm-hmm. Cluster quartz. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, yeah. That's really, really cool.
And, you know, as a backup to what you were saying again, you know, the Joan of Arc card, which is stand strong, focus on your purpose, and release the fear of persecution and speak your truth, which is very much like the interconnectedness, the letting go of separation. And I felt like that went with this card, growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness.
Hello, y'all.
Yeah. So I felt like those go
I
together.
love that. Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
And they completely back up what you were saying. And then as far as like manifestation, relax and talk less and feel more.
Yeah.
Both of those. It's definitely a time of kind of soaking it all in and letting the energy kind of like infiltrate and
I think it's
level us up.
Yeah, tapping into the unconscious that is all around us, which is really, really cool stuff. I love it.
The field of consciousness itself.
Yeah. To all of the
Oneness.
all of the possibilities. And you know, with I think too, with everything going on in Ukraine and a lot of us empaths in the world are feeling all of that pain. You know, we talked about this last week about sending love to all parties involved, not just the ones that are suffering, because even the person who is creating the havoc is probably suffering. That's why they are creating
a different level,
that chaos and pain for other people.
And that was just kind of like an enlightenment for me, is because, you know, if you think about the timing of this happening, if this energy is affecting us the way it is, but we're looking at it more of a, yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's a level up opportunity. I mean, if you think about someone who you know, who may have different intentions in life, right? If that energy is affecting them, it could be the catalyst or the impotence for them to take action that they hadn't taken before. I mean,
Yeah. And I think astrologically speaking too, I don't know that much about it, but astrologically, when it happened, the invasion started, was like the planets were aligned to create conflict and that kind of power struggle, which is
nothing is a coincidence.
no, just very sad.
Yeah.
So I guess that's.
But I found that
I love this.
Yeah.
I love these little coincidences, these little spirit taps. They're like, hey, y'all
but
listening?
I mean, that's the story that this told actually makes me feel better about the you know, that I'm energetically feeling right now. And granted, you know, we talked about it's not a bad feeling. It's just and not even uncomfortable. It's just unknown. Like I've never felt like this before, this particular way. So it's just kind of like disconcerting a little bit. Like you don't feel like you have your footing quite right.
Right.
So, but that, looking at it in that context, makes me feel a lot better.
And then, you know, on the other side of that is when, once you get over that hump, that's whenever everything starts to flow and you get into the magic of life. Once you can kind of get your footing after you go over that hill. On the
we had been
roller
going up the hill, and I think now we're like in that plummet
where your stomach is like here,
right? But then after that is kind of like where it kind of like starts to flow a little bit more. And, yeah,
and it becomes fun instead of just terrifying.
Right, instead of terrifying. Exactly. So we will leave that where it is.
Drip Star 88. I don't know anything. Well,
Feel you, girl.
Yeah, we're all in that boat.
Say hello to Lynn watching on Facebook, and if you got a question, Lynn, really quick, go ahead and ask it there if you would like to, and we'll pull a couple of cards for you. Otherwise, we're probably gonna wrap it up for today. One more episode in the books, because
check out the podcast.
Next week we'll have a new episode dropping. It'll be
Which Please on Thursday. And then go to the website ohm-g-podcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter. It'll be a bi-monthly newsletter, and hear our ramblings and so on
and musings
so forth, and we'll talk about stuff like we talk about here.
Yeah. Move soon or anything, please.
Moving seems to be a theme, doesn't it?
It does, and but I love how that happens, because it's kind of like
Maybe
for us trying to channel messages or guidance or whatever. It's like Spirit puts you on a certain frequency, like on that moving frequency, and then you get a lot of questions about that same topic
thing.
because you're on that particular frequency.
It's funny, I was having that thought, like I wonder if doctors' offices, because I used to notice whenever I was doing massage therapy that people would come in with the same problems, like neck problems or lower back problems, and they'd be clustered together. And I wonder if that happens to doctors, if they notice that trend, and I wonder how much it has to do with like planetary shifts and
Energetic stuff.
Yeah. So I feel like you're in a holding pattern right now. Then, like that's the word that came to my mind. Like you're on a plane, you're waiting. Maybe you want to go, you want to move, but you're in a holding pattern. And 6 months is coming up.
And it planning and action.
Takes planning and action. So if it's something that you want to do, you need to plan for it and take the action steps.
And the manifestation cards really back that up, because the first one that came out is reveal what needs to be seen and then go for it. So it's kind of like wait and let the situation kind of figure itself out, and then once you feel good about where it's landed in that path, then would be like the green light.
It's time to take the action. And then I got kindred partnerships. So I don't know if you think about moving with someone, but when all that comes into alignment, then it's going to be really good. Or possibly that if you don't have a partner yet, that partner could be waiting for you in that place.
And then I also pulled imagination and health. So since this card came back out again today, I feel like it's for the same thing. As kind of like reveal what needs to be seen, like your imagination, like doing the manifestation part of that, like really visualizing everything that you want. If you were going to move, what are the things that new place would have to encompass, like using your imagination to get really clear on what you would want that to be, and then kind of like let it reveal itself.
And I pulled the conflict card, and I'm here trying to look at this card and see what it's trying to say to me. And I don't know if you have an inner conflict about moving, or if you're having conflict with someone else about moving, because I pulled it on top of this kindred partnership card. So maybe that holding pattern is this kind of situation needs to be resolved before you can move forward.
Yeah.
But you can
feel that openness, like, okay, I'm ready.
It's time now. Yeah.
Yeah, she confirmed that there's something
Okay. All right.
going on. So hope that gave you a little bit of insight into
So you'll know when to take the action.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And spirit is saying let everything kind of play out and reveal itself, and then once you get that clarity,
then you take the action.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for asking that question. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, girl. Ready to wrap it up?
I guess so.
All right. Thanks, everybody,
Thank you for joining
spending
us
some time
today.
with us today, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week. Bye.